I believe that you care about the information you're putting out. And this was all wrong.
And this is why your party sucks.
Patrick Bet-David just destroyed woke Sam Seder for his insane position defending open borders in this heated debate on the PBD podcast, as Patrick Bet-David and Sam Seder argue in this video, and in the end, PBD destroys Sam Seder for his woke delusion. Let's get in.
Feel about the illegal immigrants that came those 4 years.
I will get to illegal.
You don't care about those people.
I will get to the undocumented.
You cared about children.
But you don't want to talk about this, and I don't blame you because it's embarrassing.
No. But let me do a quick time out.
Every one of those Social Security numbers.
Do a quick time out here. Sam, let me just do a quick time out. You said you don't want to talk about this. You just spun away from a question I asked you, and you brought this up. You haven't even addressed the question I asked you.
Let me
Wait
finish.
a minute.
We'll get to the
point that I
illegal
asked. Let's go back to what I asked you. I asked you a question that the money that's going in, Americans prove that they don't trust the government getting the money than free market, free enterprise.
I don't think that's the case.
You never addressed that.
I don't think that's the case. People love Social Security. People love Medicare.
Expenditure. What we learned with Doge. The American people said, Sam, enough of you taking our tax money and see what you're doing with it.
Elon Musk made that Wisconsin election of a referendum on Doge. To the extent that we've seen anybody vote on Doge, nobody heard the word Doge before November of last year. To the extent that we've seen a referendum on Doge, it just happened in Wisconsin. It happened in Florida, where the size of the win by those Republican congressmen was cut by 17, 20 points. I mean, this is a wipeout. And every Republican, you're going to see a difference in Republican lawmakers over the next year and a half, because anybody who was in a plus Trump 8 district or less is now starting to go like, wait a second. That's why Musk is being shown the door, supposedly. So getting back to my point about those Social Security numbers, they were given all to legal non-citizens. And every one of those cards, you can't vote, because I think you definitely said, and I think maybe you said, that this is a Democratic strategy to get voters. Hold on for a second. The Social Security card that they get literally says not legitimate for voting purposes. It is so that these non-citizens who are legal, just like when you came in, pay into the Social Security system and get, many of them never get that money back. So in addition to the undocumented immigrants who pay in $22 billion a year into Social Security and get zero back, these people pay several $billion in a year, and only if they become citizens, which most of them won't. Most of them will go back home over a period of time. They're here for temporary protected status. Maybe some of them are refugees and they get permanent citizenship. They won't get that money either. So every single thing of that video, this video here, was completely wrong that you guys did. It was fascinating to me because I feel like you, at the very least, I believe that you care about the information you're putting out. And this was all wrong. And
so they're up there. So Sam, this is all a lie. These guys were up there just completely bullshitting with all the numbers. Where he's saying that people in the government are blowing the whistles. He didn't want to say their names. He was giving them praise. And for Sam, for you to say that you care about the kids and the labor and all that stuff. We've had an open border for 4 years, and all the illegals, way more than 10 million, have come into this country. California, is that where you live?
No.
Where do you live?
I live in New York.
Okay, great, even better. California. So the amount of money that we spent on illegals with housing and all that shit, and Gavin Newsom passing a law that you don't even need an ID to vote. You're saying that we're coming up with where these people aren't coming in for the votes? That's the main goal of this whole thing. What was the open border for? Why was the border open for 4 years? Answer me that question.
First of all, the border was not open.
Give me are you kidding me? Look at the... What do you mean the border wasn't open? Hold on. Did you smoke before you came in here? That's ridiculous.
By the way, Vinny, here's the part, though.
You're full of it, bro.
Here's the part.
Get out of here.
Sam, here's the part when I hear this, okay?
Anybody can look at that video. The things you were saying yesterday was a complete sack of lies or just misinformation.
Be honest with me.
Immigration year over year over year.
Sam,
type in illegal. immigration year over year.
The fact that you're saying the border wasn't wide open, how many deaths have happened? How many fentanyl deaths have happened per year while your freaking president, Joe Biden, was in office? How many, hold on, how many Americans died just from fentanyl, and you're saying the border wasn't wide open? We've had the most illegal entry in 4 years in the history of the country. This is why, let me finish. And this is why your party sucks. This is why your party is at 29% approval. 20%. Because you got 20, thank you. Because all you guys do is talk shit and just go anti-Trump. You have no policies. You guys have no vision. You have no leaders. You're talking about oligarchs and you hate the oligarchs. Where do you think Bernie Sanders and AOC are going to get their money from? Their donors. Are you, like, don't lie to yourself. For you to look, and like, brother, you're talking about yesterday we lied.
AOC and Bernie Sanders don't take money.
Hold on, ready for this? You're saying that we lied 2 days ago. You just lied, and you're going to look like a fool that the border wasn't wide open. Look at this chart. What does that chart say to you? What is that? What did Trump, when Trump was in, he was trying to close it, but your party was fighting it. It's unbelievable how many illegals have come in the past 100 days.
But this is.
I feel like this is one of those moments where it's like, you know, tell me you're crazy without actually telling me you're crazy. For Sam Seder to actually say that the 4 years that Joe Biden was in presidency, when we had the greatest surge of immigrants, illegals pouring into this country, and the border was not open. Like these people are just demonstrably lying on their face. Like I can't I mean, I already didn't, but now I really, really can't take Sam Seder like seriously at all. Like literally at all. And the fact that proves that the border was left wide open are two things. One, the head of the border down there literally said Kamala Harris and Joe Biden simply will not give the order to close the border as all of these people are coming across. And then Trump wins the presidency, and what happens on day one? Border is closed. And now the number of people coming across is just absolutely falling off. Why? Because it's closed. Because it is closed now. That's what happens when you tell the border security to close the border and not let millions of people in, or like 50,000 each day coming in. It's insane. For Sam Seder to even suggest that only proves how stuck he really is in the woke delusional bubble. It is crazy, folks. Let me know what you think of that and leave a like. It helps the algorithm. Let's get back in.
As the country is falling apart, you had people from Ukraine coming in because of obviously the invasion. These were all under temporary protected status. They all got Social Security numbers so they could pay taxes into our government and not necessarily get the services back.
Yes, and vote for Democrats.
No, they can't vote. Right. Those Social Security cards literally say AOC, on the card, say you can't use this for voting.
AOC said we don't have an illegal immigration problem. We have a documentation problem. That's what AOC said. So this is not something new. You know how when you talk about who's better at gerrymandering, who's better at gerrymandering, the left or the right?
Republicans seem to be better at that.
The Republicans are much better.
I agree. Guess what? So it's not like they can fight it and say, no, we're not. That's their reputation. They have it. They're better at gerrymandering. Strategically, they're better at doing that. But for you to sit here...
I don't have a problem.
May I make my point?
Let me
make my point.
Yeah.
When you sit here and you watch yourself, when you're saying these policies and you spew out these policies, what the average person does, they'll watch it, and if they've already outgrown it, because today the problem with, folks, content creators have today is the following. Say we say something on a video, and we're wrong. You know what others will do? They'll react to it, and they'll say stuff to it. And if we're right, they'll keep coming to us to want to hear more of it, because they'll say, at least you sound reasonable. And they'll say, I want to hear what John has to say. I want to hear what Joe has to say. I want to hear what Megan has to say. I want to hear what whoever these people are that are giving ideas out there want to say, right? But when you keep saying stuff that others are able to tear apart so many times, that a former liberal watches that maybe was a viewer of you and says, how can Sam not see this and outgrow it? He is still stuck on this policy that's been proven. Americans don't want to pay more taxes to a government that wastes their taxes. How does he not see that? How does he keep pushing this agenda back and forth? Then you lose an audience, and the people you keep is the following. Here's who you end up keeping. You end up keeping an audience that makes you think you're right, but that's not always the case. You keep an audience that, of course, hates rich people. Rich people are bad people, and they're probably not making a lot of money, and they come to Sam to save them. Hey, let's trash and bash rich people because this is what we got to do. Yes, Sam, let's go after the rich.
Patrick Bet-David was exactly right. When you are constantly proven over and over again that arguments that Sam Seder and other pundits like him try to make are just demonstrably wrong, demonstrably false, and you keep pushing these narratives over and over and over again, exactly what Patrick Bet-David as said it was going to happen is going to happen. And I think that describes the woke bubble. All the rational people start leaving, and then you're just left with this cabal of followers who are just listening and following anything that you're going to say. But when you stay inside that shell, it becomes the echo chamber. You think everyone's supporting you, like, oh, this is grand, this is great. And Sam Seder will just continue to push in just incredibly stupid nonsense. Like, he wants to make the argument, oh, well, they can't vote because it says on the social security card. Well, just like Vinny pointed out, in states like California and others who don't want voter ID, that no longer matters. That doesn't matter. No one asks for your social security card when you go in to vote in a state that doesn't require ID or even your social security card. So it's like that point is completely nuanced and evading him. He doesn't see the disconnect there. Like, that doesn't matter. They can still walk in and just write their name down and cast a ballot. There's only one reason any state would possibly want to go out of their way to deny voter ID. Like, there's only one reason. We all know that, folks. That's what guilty people do. And that's exactly what this whole thing was about, getting more people in to support the Democrats because people are leaving the party. They are leaving the party. They are leaving blue states. And by 2030, when they redo the census, it's going to be another nail in the coffin for the Democrats, to the point that they may never actually be able to wield federal power again. But that's probably all above Sam Seder's intelligence. But folks, thanks for watching. Let me know in the comments what you thought Patrick Bet-David and even Vinny Oshana had to say to woke Sam Seder for his insane stance, believing that millions of people crossing the border means that it's closed. Like, absolutely insane stuff, folks. Thanks again. Like and subscribe. Take care, and I'll see you on the next one.